and welcome to June. The theme for this month will be practicing Pratyahara, which is proper internalization of attention. This is one of the most important methods of yoga practice because it's only through internalizing your attention can you really see your inner states of consciousness. Can you really see what's going on in the depths of your subconscious? And those issues within the subconscious tell us what needs to be released, cleared out, or made peace with. And usually it's more making peace with it than anything else. So Pratyahara. Pratyahara occurs in the yogic system after we've practiced asana and after we've practiced pranayama. And so what is asana? Well, asana is the postures that we use in hatha yoga, the exercise routines. But asana is really your meditation posture. Sitting up straight, being able to put your attention on your spine, and sit still. That's proper asana. Pranayama is when we circulate life force through the body to cleanse the subtle channels, to balance the mind and the nervous system. We use alternate nostril breathing, or specifically in the Kriya Yoga procedures, we use Sushumna breathing. And again, if you need to review those, you can go back to videos on this channel dealing with Kriya Yoga techniques, the preliminary techniques as well as the Kriya Yoga pranayama techniques, all available on this channel. Now, Pratyahara, after you've had the capacity to sit up straight and calm and clear, and after you have practiced your breathing techniques to calm the mind and the emotions, well, now what? Well, now you learn to pull your attention within, into your spine, letting go of attachment to your senses, letting go of attachment to your mind, letting go of attachment to your emotions. Because what we have to remember is that anything that we can perceive is an experience. So you're perceiving me right now talking to you. You're perceiving the feel of the air around you, the sounds within the room. You're perceiving all these things. When you close your eyes and turn within, well, then you perceive your thoughts. You perceive your emotions. And since you can perceive them, they're also external to you. So the first stage of Pratyahara is closing your eyes, bringing your awareness within so that you can see those thoughts and those emotions. Step one. Once you can do that and remain as the alert, witnessing observer, you're on the right track. Once you're good at that, then you move to the next stage, which is withdrawing your attention from those thoughts and those emotions. You don't have to change them. You don't have to get rid of them. You just have to withdraw your awareness from them. In the same way that you don't have to erase the sights within your room, or you don't have to erase all the sounds that you hear. You don't have to erase that which you feel on your skin when, say, the air conditioning is blowing on. You don't have to erase those things. You just have to pull your attention in away from them. This is Pratyahara. And this is one of the reasons why retreats can be so helpful, because that is consciously practicing Pratyahara to pull you away from your normal life, those typical distractions that you have. So retreats from time to time can be very helpful. And speaking of that, since this is for June, we do have an online webinar scheduled for July, which is a stay-at-home Kriya Yoga retreat. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm using GoToMeeting, a webinar service, and I'm scheduling, I think it's about 3 sessions over a 3-day period. And so if you want to participate in that, you can go to ashevillevedicastrology.com and look at the Learn Kriya Yoga tab, or I'll put a link down at the bottom of this video too that you can click on. But we have about 4 spots left, 4 of 24 spots left. So if you're interested in exploring that, again, it's a retreat that you can do, staying at home, learning Kriya Yoga, practicing silently by yourself, which in my mind is one of the best ways to do it. But anyway, back to the point of our topic this month. So now you've learned the Kriya techniques. You know what to do. You're getting better at them. You might still have some things you have to work out, but overall, you've got a good sense of the direction you need to go in. So you need to start paying attention to the time in between your techniques. So you practice Kriya Pranayama, and you sit in the silence. And while you're in that silence, you want to figure out, how can I pull my attention more fully into my spine. That'll happen naturally anyway by doing the Kriya Pranayama. But you need to ask yourself, what can I do? How can I use my willpower to let go of attachment to thoughts, to distractions? How can I pull this awareness that I have more fully internalized? And you work at that. You practice. You figure it out. It's just like anything else, like riding a bicycle. People can tell you how to do it. They can write out diagrams for you, but only you can really figure out how it works for you. So we have to remember this. One of the best ways to do it is be aware of the body. Actually consciously feel the body. This is after a Kriya Pranayama routine. Consciously feel the body. Just notice what's going on within your body. And then say, okay, I see that, but that's not me, so I'm going to pull my awareness back from that. The next thing you'll notice is how you feel emotionally. And what do you do there? Well, you acknowledge your emotions. You say, well, I feel a little anxious, or I feel good, or I feel angry, or a little sad, or I feel happy, whatever it might be. And you say, okay, well, now that I can observe this, I can experience it, that's fine. I'm just going to pull away from that. It's almost like you're withdrawing from the feelings. They can still be there, but you're just not giving them any attention. And then typically what occurs is that you become aware of your thoughts. All kinds of random thoughts, things you haven't thought about for years, strange little ideas you have in your head. But you acknowledge them. You say, these are my thoughts. This is what's going on right now. You're not trying to change anything, push anything away, destroy anything. You're just acknowledging and withdrawing your attention more fully. And what you'll find is that the more you practice this, you will hit moments where you are aware of essentially nothing but a sense of self, the fact that you exist. And that is a good sign that you are learning to practice Pratyahara well. So this is something that you work out on your own, and you do it in between your meditation techniques. You do it at the end of meditation. And this really helps to set you up for proper contemplative practices, deeper inner work. One thing I also like to do, which can be very helpful, is before I even start meditating, I take some time to consciously think about, who am I? Well, I'm Ryan. I'm wearing a blue shirt. I like to read books. I play a musical instrument. I do Vedic astrology. I like watermelon. You know, all these things that make you who you are in regards to your personality. You think about those things and you acknowledge them. But then you say, well, all right, this wasn't always the case. When I was younger, I was different. When I'm older, I'll be different too. So obviously, that's not me, because this is changing. This is a changing phenomena. So then you pull back and you say, well, I'm related to this person. I have this person as my family member. This is my friend. I like this person. I don't like this person. You start going through more of your personality in that regard. Then you say, well, this has all changed before too, so I'm obviously not that. So you pull back a little bit. And then you start thinking about, why am I human? Why I exist? And this is the year 2015. I live on planet Earth. You know, you can really go into all these different things, that how you identify yourself, the places that you live, the time that you're living in. But again, you always pull back, and I like to imagine that I'm giving it up to God or divine consciousness, as though there's a white light in front of me, and every time one of these realizations or ideas come up, I just throw it in there. And this is just an exercise. This is an exercise for your mind, an exercise for your consciousness. But the more you're able to do this, eventually you get very good at it, and then you are able to just segue right into a very clear, thought-free state of existence, being. That's all you're aware of, just existing, pure being. But it may require some time of consciously giving these things up, recognizing them and giving them up. And this is where a lot of people stop in the Kriya Yoga process, or any yoga process, because what's happening is you're realizing the impermanence of your body, you're realizing the impermanence of your personality, you're realizing the impermanence of your life, of who you think you are, and that's scary for people. But if you want to go all the way to complete, total awakening transcendence, you become comfortable living in that space. Because once you're able to do that, you realize that you're so much more than all these things you're clinging to, these relationships, these definitions, people who like you, things you enjoy doing, who you think you are, the things that you believe are right. Because all these are just concepts in your mind. But when you're able to let them go, then you are able to appreciate the bigger picture. And this is why Pratyahara is so important, because once you can pull within and exist in that state of pure existence being, then, in my mind, you are really able to practice meditation as it's taught in the Yoga Sutras. To contemplate, to focus, to explore the rest of your consciousness without all these distractions, because the reason you're so distracted is because you're identified with all these aspects of your consciousness which are temporary, which you think are so important. But when you can let them go, then you can contemplate, what is God? What am I? What happens after death? What was I before I was born? What is the nature of reality? You can ask these questions, and since you're able to focus now without distractions, you can get direct, immediate insights into them. And this is the inner work, the path of yoga. So your task this month is to start working out for you, how can I, after I practice my Kriya meditation techniques, how can I more fully internalize my awareness? And you can use some of the things we talked about today. And you want to be very consistent with it, because if you're not used to thinking in this way or doing things in this way, it might take you more than a month to get good at it. But if you're devoted to it and you keep going, you get better at it. You go deeper into the process. And you got to keep going until you have the direct experience. Okay, so keep this in mind. And so for your personal practice, in between your Kriya Pranayama and your Jyoti Mudra, spend about 5 to 10 minutes, or more if you want, but enough to keep you alert and interested and focused on the process, pulling your awareness within, experimenting with how you can do it for you. Then practice Jyoti Mudra. And then after Jyoti Mudra, do the same thing. Pull your awareness within, figure out how can you more fully let go of attachment to all these external phenomena. And you have to remember that your Kriya practices, the Kriya Pranayama and the Jyoti Mudra, and any meditation technique is going to help in this regard, because that's what they're meant to do. But you don't treat it mechanically, you actually have to engage it. So after you are internalized from the techniques, we'll now ask, how can I take it a little further? How can I be more engaged in this process to experience this pure existence being? And make that your task for this month. Make that your skill that you're developing. And we'll probably consider continuing this beyond this month, but if you just take this month to be dedicated to it for a 30-day period, you'll make leaps and bounds. And then as you go through the rest of your life, you can tweak it a little bit. You can go a little bit deeper. You can engage the process with more intensity. For the month of June, this is your goal. Consider including Pratyahara into your practice. Experiment with how you can let go of attachment to the distractions within your mind, your body, your consciousness, and give yourself permission to exist free of definitions in this regard. Okay, so thank you very much.